Hello and welcome to another video where I want to look into our annotation possibilities in Performance Analyzer. That's a very useful feature, especially when you know before there's a change, an upcoming change. So for example, you're going to upgrade your host system or you're going to change the configuration of your virtual machine. And then it makes sense to put a kind of a pointer in a chart or in a graph. And that is exactly what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to see some massive CPU load, co-stopping CPU ready, because I'm going to limit a virtual machine CPU inside of the web client. So before I'm going to do it, I want to put a marker or annotation in my chart. Let's say here. I'm going to hold down Control and click the left mouse button. I'm going to change the system called Oracle, CPU limit. And I'm going to add some tags. I'm going to add VM and I'm going to add change. Here we go. And now I have this nice dotted line inside of my chart. And when I hover the triangle on the bottom, I see exactly what is going to happen or what I put in my annotation. The next thing is I'm going to change the limit. So inside of the web client, I'm going to be very mean. My Oracle database now need to work with 512 megahertz. Here we go. Configuration is made. The next thing I'm going to do is putting some load on this virtual machine. And in a couple of minutes, when the data collector has collected all the new data, we are going to see what happens in these charts. So bear with me just a moment. So here we go. I paused the video for a couple of minutes so that we don't need to wait for something to happen. And as you see here, especially when we go back a little bit in time, you see here, boom, the change was made, and whoa, a couple of minutes later, we see massive load happening. And of course, the more you go back in time, the better these annotations work, because you always know, okay, then I made this change. The cool thing is, because when you have this widget here with the VPM CPU ready, you also see what load the virtual machine had when it actually comes to this chart here. So you see VM CPU ready goes up massively on the Oracle appliance or virtual machine. You see the co-stopping goes up massively. And that is a very typical scenario. When you have a limit, the process still wants to get most of the virtual machine, but it sees a CPU with 2 gigahertz, for example, but it can't get above this 256 or 512 megahertz limit. Then co-stopping and CPU ready really go to the top. And then you see the appliance here, the virtual machine here, with not so much CPU utilization. And what you see here is, despite the fact that there's a process running that is really pushing the CPU to its limits, because of the limit set to 512, you don't really see a lot of a CPU usage. You only see high values for co-stopping and CPU ready. So that is an example how to work with annotations. Honestly, you can also use these annotations, for example, when you create a snapshot and you want to see, okay, I'm putting an annotation in my chart, I'm creating a snapshot. Now I'm updating my database, my application, whatever. And then I automatically can check for the size, so how much size or growth was on my partition. I can see the behavior. The same is of course true for the updates for Spectre and Meltdown. So when you update the virtual machine or patch the system on an ESX host and the virtual machine guests, what happens to your virtual machine afterwards? So is the performance still the same? Is the performance going down? You can directly check for it, and this annotation stays forever, at least as long as the data base is actually collecting data. So if you want to try it out, again, you just need to hold Control and then click on the left mouse button, and then you can put your annotation here. All right, try Advisor out. It's a free trial, and you will be impressed, I'm absolutely sure.